Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with Psycho Dominoes. This is a psycho killer puzzle, which is something I don't get to solve very often because the first puzzle I ever created was a psycho killer puzzle, and very few people have jumped on the constraint. I've made, I think, half a dozen that have been released psycho killer puzzles, and there's probably been about that many other psycho killer puzzles that I'm aware of that have been made apart from that. A lot of people find this constraint really challenging, and I understand why. I'm not sure. Hopefully this video will come out and not break the chain of sequence of videos being released daily. I'm pretty certain there's been gaps in the problem series from now, and I have no idea when the next puzzle will come out. There's a video explaining that. Not going to go into that right now. Otherwise, I will not be able to continue. So let's have a look at this. So normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Cells separated by an X must sum to 10. Cells separated by a V must sum to 5. Not all X's and V's are given, so it would be perfectly fine for these two cells or these two cells or these two cells. I could pick any two cells not separated by an X or V for those to sum to 5 or 10. Cells separated by a black dot, I think we've only got one of them, have a 1 to 2 ratio. Cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive. Not all dots are necessarily given. That's all fine as well. And then we've got the red cages, which are psycho killer cages. The way psycho killer cages work is you might look at this cage and say, well, this is a 2 cage, so it has to be a 2. No, what it means is the digit it refers to must be a 2. And the way you can tell what it refers to is the digit that is placed in the cage is going to point to a box in the grid. And it's going to point to the cell in the same position in that box. So as an example, if this was a 3, this is going to point to box 3, and it's going to point to the cell in the same position in the box. So this is in the center of the box, so it would point to that cell. Because that is in the same position in box 3, and then because it would point that digit would have to be that digit would have to sum to 2, that would be a 2. Now it's slightly more complex if I was to use this as a 15 cage. If this was, and I'm deliberately going to use things that aren't legal, if this was a, let's say this is a 6 and a 7, I know they don't sum to 5, but I'm deliberately doing that wrong, then that would mean that because this points to box 6, that would be that cell, and this points to box 7, that would be that cell, because this is the same position in box 7 as that, and this is the same position in box 6. Those two cells would have to sum to 15, and that's how that works. Don't know anything about this puzzle other than it's rated as 4 stars on Logic Masters Germany, but most people who solve are not familiar with Psycho Killer, and I've probably done more Psycho Killer than anyone in the world. So hopefully I will be able to pull that one off. So I've restarted the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So I know these because they're all V's are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's going to be important. I know that this is also 1, 2, 3, 4, but I think this is going to matter because this cell is going to point to here, 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 or here. This cell is going to point to here, 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 or here. So there's weird stuff going on here because this is going to point to here, here. Actually, these two cells are interesting. Those two cells there are really interesting because those two cells can only point to here, 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 or here, one of which is also a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Something weird going on there. So if this is 4, 1, this would be this cell and this cell have to sum to 13. So this would be 4 and this would be 9. This is 3, 2. Then this would be a 3. Hang on, this can't be a 3 Neither of these can be a 3. Because if this is a 3, it points to itself. So if this is a 3, then this is pointing to a digit in the same position in box 3. But this is box 3. So if this is a 3, this cell is contributing a 3. And this would point to a 2, and that cell would have to contribute 10, and it can't do it. So I can never put a 3 in here. This is a 1, 4, and this is a 2, 3. So this is a 1, 4. So I actually was looking at the wrong thing. So this is going to be one of those two and one of those two having to sum to 13. But it could be that one and that one, or it could be 4, 9. But if that's 4, 9, then that's contributing 4 because it's in box 4, and that would have to contribute 0.2, 11, and that doesn't work. Oh, that's bonkers. So if this is a 4, it means that this has to be a 1. Because if this is a 4, it's pointing here, and this has to contribute to something that's summing to 13. So this would have to be a 4, and this would have to be a 9. This would go 4, 1, and this would be 4, and this would be 9, because I can't put anything higher than 4 here. But if this is a 4, this is pointing to itself, and this cell has to contribute the other part, because this would be pointing to itself, the other part of the 15. So this would have to contribute 11, and it can't do it. So running that chain back, this cannot be a 4, this is a 1, this is a 4, and that cell sum to 13. Right. So that's fine. What can I do with that? Because that's freed this. Well, I can't put a 4 in here, because if I put a 4 in here at all, the other one has to contribute the 15. So I can't put 1, 4 in here. It's the deduction I could make. So this is going to point to 2, 3. So it's those cells and those cells. But if this is a 3, this is a 1, and this is going to have to be the 14. So if this is a 3, I've broken the puzzle. Then this cell, that would have to be a 14. So this is not a 3, this is a 2, this is a 3. This cell and this cell sum to 15. But I'm falling out of cages here. Now this is either 1, 9 or 4, 6. Now it could potentially be 4, 6. Because I can't put a 4 there because it would contribute 3 and that'd have to be 11. But if I put 4 there and this is 6, then 6 plus 8 is 14, and that would become an 8. Because I'd have 6, 4, 8, and that would make that work. This is really limited, though. This is really limited. Because this has to point to a 2. Now, this can't be a 2. So, okay. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Now, it can't be a 2 or a 3 because there's a 2, 3 in the row. It can't be 4, 5, or 6, because if it was 4, that would have to be a 2. If it was a 5, it would have to be a 2 itself, and it would be a 5 and a 2. And if it was a 6, this would have to be a 2. I can't put another 2 in this row. So it's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. It can't be 2, 3. So if it's 1, that is a 2. If it's 7, 8, 9, one of those is a 2. It cannot be a 9. So it's because the 2, 3 is known. So this is 1, 7, or 8. So that cell, or that cell is a 2. So these greater thans are weird. So this is either 1, 9. I can't put 4 here because that would point to these, or 4, 6. Now, is there any reason 1, 9 is broken? Not that I can see. Because that digit could contribute to either. Like if. Oh, hang on. That's not that digit, though. It's those. It's real. This is the thing that confuses people. It's really easy to get those pointers wrong. I do it all the time. Now. I can't put 1 in this cage. But it could be 2, 4, 4, 8, or 3, 6. So maybe that's the place to look? Because 4, 8 would make... Well, hang on. No, this is actually more limited than it looks. So I can't put a 1 in here, because if I put a 1 here, both of these are 2, so that doesn't work. So it's either 2, 4, 8, or 3, 6. Now, that can't be a 4, because if this is a 4, I'm contributing 3 to the 16 total, and this would have to point to a 13. So it's not a 4. Now, if it's a 2, it's contributing 2 to the 16 total, so that doesn't work either. So this is either, if this is 3, this is 6. If this is 6, this is 3. And if this is 8, this is 4. So this is a lot more restricted than it looks. Now, if this is 3, it's contributing that, which is part of a 15, which is high enough to get me there. If this is 6, it's contributing that, and I've got a 6, 9 available. And if it's 8, I'm wide open. But that is way more restricted than I initially thought. That cell is pointing to there, except it's not. That can't be a 3, because if this is a 3, this is a 1, and this would be have to point to a 10. So this is 2 and this is 3. So that is that cell and that cell. So those cells. So this cell is contributing to both a 15 and an 11 cage. So this cell is 4 less than that cell, because those two cells added together are 15. Those two cells added together are 11. So if this is 2, this is 4 higher and becomes 6. This is 3, this is 7. This can't be 4, 8, or it could be 5, 9. They're the only possibility. And this can't be 2 or 3. This is 5, 9. And, oh, wow. That is glorious. And because this is 5 and I need to get another, so this is 5, I need to get another 6, this becomes 6, and all of these cages are now resolved. That is nuts. This, if it was a 3 now, so this is not 9, so this is not 1. This is not 6, so this is not 3. This is not 6, so this is not 3. This is 8 and 4, which means this is pointing to here, and this is pointing to here. Those two cells sum to... No, put the color in. Those two cells sum to 16. There's no 8 here, which means the 2 is either here or here. Which is interesting for the column. Still not sure about this 13. Although, how do you make up 13? Oh, no, I've got a lot of options still, I think. Except this is 3 or 5, because it's consecutive with 4. This is a really clever psycho killer puzzle. If this is 1, 9, this is the 9. If this is 4, 6, this is the 6. So this is either 6 or 9. Because I have to put... If this is 1, 9, I can't put 1 or 9 in here. And the 1 is already in the column. So mixing the column and this X, whatever is in here has to go in this column somewhere. So if this is 1, 9, where do I put the 9 in this column? It's there. If this is 4, 6, where do I put the 6 in this column? It's there. It has to be one of those two, so that has to be a 6 or a 9. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm still getting messages from my parents, and I've been mentioning this for days. And whenever I get a message from my parents, I am going to read it and make sure I don't need to stop the video and come back later. Normally I put everything on mute while I'm recording, but I'm not doing that right now. So if this is 1, 9, I'm looking at that cell and that cell. If it's 4, 6 though, it's itself, and so this would be 6 and 8. Now, if I put 8 in here, what does that do to these X's? Just means I can't put 2, 8 in them, but the only thing I've got a restriction on is 2 already. I mean, 16 is a large cage. 16 in 2 cells. There's only 2 ways to do that. There's 9, 7, and 8, 8. But I can't do 8, 8 because this can't be an 8 because I've already got an 8 looking at it. So if this is a 6, so what are the possibilities here? So I'm just going to run big digits in. If this is a 6, this would have to be a 10. That's not going to work. So this is not 6. If this is 7, this is 9. If this is 8, which it can't be, and if this is 9, this is 7. So this is a 7-9 pair. But that means for this 17 cage, that's contributing one of those cells. But '17 can go pretty low, like all the way down to a 1, really. Missing something. What am I missing? It's not 4, no, 5, 8 in row 5. I mean, 7 and 8 have to go in here somewhere. Started smooth, slowing down. Not sure what I'm missing. Apart from about 12 hours of sleep over the last 3 days. The thing is, there's no impossible cages in this. It's often a trick in Psycho Killer to use impossible cages. Have I figured out what this is pointing to yet? Sorry, this is pointing to here and here. So yeah, that's done. Oh, wait a minute. That's that. 2 is here or here, and it's not here. So 2 can only be there or there. And if I put the... Yeah, so this is the 1. This is the 2. Which puts 2 in one of those 2. If I put 2 there, it's that and that sum to 12. That's okay. One, two, three. That's a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. There's no 5 there. There's no 5 there. There's no 4 there. There's no 4 there. 4 is in one of those 2. So this is 3, 7, or 6. But they have to sum to more than 10. If this is 3, this becomes 7. This becomes 7. And that wouldn't be 2. This would be the 2. This would be the 8. If this is the 7, though, then that is contributing to a cage that's greater than 10. And if this is 4, 6, I've got so much freedom, it's not funny. Oh, I can't put... There'd be that one and that one. Which couldn't be 7 or 8, but I could still use... Well, greater than 10, I could use anything over 2. Two digits sum to 10. And I've really got everything. I really should turn on the conflict checker, shouldn't I? Because I'm missing stuff everywhere. This is 6, and that means this is 4. So this is 6. That means this is the 8. Which means this isn't the 2. Because if this is the 2, this is the 8. This is the 2. This is not the 2. Maybe I should turn on the pencil mark checker while I am solving so badly. This is now a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 7, and 9. Well, there's no 5 there. So 5 is in one of those two, which means this is a 3. Maybe that's actually not a bad idea. I'm going to turn on the conflict checker and the pencil mark checker. This is a 4-star puzzle on LMD. Yeah. So 2 is down here somewhere. Not sure. It's pointing to there or there. So 6 and 4. Is this done? Actually, let me just confirm this. Is this done? 6 is pointing to itself. 4 is pointing to 8. 6 and 4, that's done. So I'm going to mark this in a light grey. 1 is pointing to 2. This is done. 2 is pointing to the 6. 3 is pointing to the 9. 6 and 9 are 15. This cage is done. 2 is pointing to the 6. 3 is pointing to the 5. That's 11. This cage is done. 4 and 1, these have to sum to 13. So that can't be a 3. If this is a 4, this is a 9. If it's a 5, it's an 8. And if it's a 7, it's a 6. Wait. I did that wrong. This is a 4, this is a 9. If it's a 5, it's an 8, and it can't be. So this can't be a 5. If it's a 7, it's a 6. So this is only 6 or 9. And this is only 4 or 7. So that's a 3, 4, 7 triple. That becomes a 5. There is no 5 there. And this becomes a 5. Which puts a 5 down here somewhere, but it's not there because this is a 7-9 pair. Has that put any pressure on that? Wow, this is weird. These are the sort of deductions I love in Psycho Killer puzzles. They're not easy. I admit they are not easy. Mum, I am on camera right now. Can this please wait? Okay. 5 is in one of those two by Sudoku. This 6 means this is the 6. I figured that out earlier. I just hadn't done anything with it. So this is actually a 7-8-9 triple. So these are 1, 2, 3, and 5. So 3 is down here. 6. Okay. So this is either 4, 9 or 7, 6. Is there a problem with any of that? If this is 4, 9, this becomes 9 as well. No, I'm not seeing it. This can't be 7 or 9. That can't be 7 or 9 because this is a pair. Six is in one of those two. I feel the 17 cage in box 8 is incredibly powerful, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, if this is 3, 7, it's there and there. But this could be 9 and 3. No, wait. What could this be? If this is 3, I'm adding those two cells together to get to 10. Whoa. Hang on. If I put 3, 7 in here, doesn't this become 3, 7? I think I'm wrong about that. But if this is 3, this becomes 7, and this has to contribute to a 10 total with that cell. But whichever 10 so those two cells would be the same. And they couldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like if they were 6, this would be 4. 3, 3, 7, 6, 4 could work. Those 10 clues, there's just something not. And this is greater than 10. Sorry, I was possibly even reading that wrong. Yeah, I'm reading that wrong. Sorry, so that was complete nonsense. Those greater than clues are breaking my head. I feel they're disambiguators at the end. Like, I know one of these at least is even. So one of these is odd. Because I've got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I've already used 4 of the 5 odd digits. So I can't make both of those odd. But I could make both of them even and both of those odd, I think. I've got to put a 2 in this column somewhere. It's there, or there. That's too many freedoms. 3, 4, 5 is in one of those two. 6 is in one of these two. Is there a reason I can't put 6 in either of those? 2 is the thing that feels the most constrained, but I've only got 4 of them. Again, I was told this was a 4-star puzzle on LMD, but I would find this easy because of my experience with Psycho Killer. Maybe? I'm only going to be doing easy puzzles after this for a long time, I think. Because I look at a greater than 17, and it could take anything, including a 1. I look at a greater than 10, it could take anything, including a 1. Now, a 12 clue can't take a 1 or a 2, but the cage can. So it's 1937 or 46. If this is 19, I'm playing with one of those 2 cells and one of those 2 cells. And there is a restriction here. This is 789 and must contain an 8 because each consecutive dot must have an even and an odd digit on it. And this sees 2, 4, and 6. So does that mean I can't make this 19? No, I can. I absolutely can. Because I could use 7584 or 39. In fact, one of these has to be a 5. So 5791 9 sorry 57891 seems fine. Hang on. Did I just put 7 and 9 there? Crikey, that's a long chain. Like, if that's a 9, that's a 7. This is a 9, 1. Yeah, but that's just... If this is a 9, no, 7... I don't think... No, I don't think you can do that. No, I just did an example, but there's so many possibilities there. So 8 is in one of these 2 now. Does that do anything? This is even. This is 2 or 6. It can't be 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, or 8. This is 2 or 6. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 9. So this is 2, 7, or 9. 5, 7, or 9. And that's any of them. I really don't get this trend of find the one thing. Particularly considering the thing I could just find was that. There doesn't seem to be another deduction like that. And if that leads to something, then it's like, okay, I don't see the flow in this puzzle. That cell is restricted because it sees a lot. Now, if I can't be 2 or 8. Now, if it's 1, this becomes 9. So we'd end up with 1, 9. And it would be that cell and that cell. But this could be 7 and 3 and I'm fine. If this is 3, or I can't use 4, 6 and I couldn't use 7, 3. So, okay. If this is 3 or 7. But this would be 7 and pointing to itself. So this would be 3, 3 and 7. And that's fine. So 3, 7, 3. All good. If this is 4, this would be 8, this would be 6. That would be 2. And that would be fine. This can't be 5. If this is 6, this is 4. This is 6. That's a 4. That's a 4. And that would be a 6. And that's fine. If this is 7, then this needs to point to a 3. This would be 3 and need to point to a 3, and that would be a 3. I'm doing the math wrong. These sum to 12. If this is a 1, this is a 9. And these two need to sum to 12. How do I make those two cells sum to 12? 3, 9, 4, 8. Okay, that would work. If this is 3, oh, this is terrible. If this is 3, this is 7. And it would be that cell and that cell that need to sum to 12. But that would be 7. So that would need to be 5. This is not 3. If this is 4, it's that and that need to sum to 12. But that would be an 8. This would need to be a 4, and it can't be. This is not 4. If this is 6, it's that cell and that cell that need to sum to 12. But that would be 4, 8, and it can't. Wow, this is tricky. This is 7, this is 3, and it would be that cell and that cell that need to sum to 12. And that would be 7. So that would need to be 5. And wow. Okay, that is tricky. This is actually 1 and 9. So one of these and one of those sums to 12. Now, if it's that one and that one, I could do 9, 3 or 8, 4. If it's those ones, I can never put 7 on here. Because if I put 7 on here, I need to put 5 up here, and I can't do it. So this is actually an 8, 9 pair, which puts 9 up here somewhere. So if this is 8, 9, whichever one it goes with needs to be 3 or 4. So I can never put 7 here. No, I can put 7 here. I just need to put a 3 or 4 in here. 7, 3. No, hang on. If this is 7, this becomes 3, this becomes 4, and that has no fill. I can't put a 3 or a 4 here and can't complete the 12. So this is not 7. This is not 3. This is a 3 or a 4. But I don't think that yet forces this. Because I could still go 3, 4, 6 and have this go either way. But these 9s are going to play off each other. If this is 1, 9, then it's that one and that one. If this is 1, 9, 1, hang on, 9, 1, 9. If the 9 is always going to point to a 9, because, no, the 9 is always going to point to an 8. I am out of practice. If this is 1, this is a 9, and the 9 can't point to a 9. The 9 is always going to point to an 8. So the 1 is always going to need a 4. So that's 4, that's 6, that's 7. The only place it can get the 4 to go with... so this needs a 4. So this is the 1, this is the 9, this is the 8, this is the 9. Let me run through that again to confirm. So whichever one of these points to a 9, if this is the 9, it's going to point to an 8. So the 1, because I can't have the 9 point to a 9 because it'll be in the same row. So the 9 is absolutely going to point to an 8. So the 1 is going to need to point to a 4, but it needs to point to a 4 in one of those two, and the only place it can do it is there. Yeah, that is 4, that is 6, that is 7. Now, one of these has to point to a 4 because the 9 can't point to it, and the thing that's pointing to the 4, that is the 1, that is the 9. The 9 points to the 8. This becomes the 9. The 7 looks back, making this 3 apparently. There's a 6 now that makes this a 6, and this now becomes the 3. I'm taking the pencil mark. The 9 looks over, making this the 7, and remember this was a pair, so that becomes the 9. Now, this 1, 9 is now resolved because it is looking at 4 plus 8 equals 12, so that is resolved and the purples can go away. Now, there's a 9 here, so this is 6. 7 and 6, please be 13. It is. So this cage is resolved, and those are done with. 8 and 4, this is now resolved. Those are done with. So this can now go grey. Now, there's a 7 taking the 7 out of there. This is just me cleaning up pencil marks. There's no 9 there. Now, we know that this 17 cage, I'm going to use yellow again, is pointing to that cell and whatever those two are pointing to, but it has to be greater than 17. Now, these ones are pointing at that cell and that cell, but it has to be greater than 10. So this can't be 1 or 2. So this is a 1-2 pair. Because if this was 1 or 2, this would not be greater than 10, because 8 plus 1 is 9, and 8 plus 2 is 10, and this is greater than 10. That's cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this is now a 5, which completes this cage. That is a very, very psycho killer deduction. I like that one a lot. Whew. Okay, now. So all I've got left is this and a whole bunch of dots and stuff. And fortunately, a coffee. Now, that was tricky. Yeah, maybe 4-star. Maybe. This is a triple. I like triples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There was no 8 there, but my pencil marks would have given me that anyway. So I'll take it. This is 1, 2, and 7. This is 1 and 7 because there's already 2s in rows and boxes. Rows and boxes, rows and boxes. I need some sleep. That is not going to happen anytime soon. So, 17. This is pointing at a 7. These can be from lots of different things. And realistically, this can still point at almost anything. So this is going to be a disambiguator at the end, isn't it? Because I can still put 3 in here. 4, yeah, that would still work. 5 would still work. 6 would still work. Yeah, I'm not taking it. So what have I got to work with? I've got these dots, really. Seven. 7 is not in there and it's not in there. 7 is in one of those two by Sudoku. Why did I say 7's not in there? What did I do? My brain is off. I looked at that 7 and said 7 can't be in those. Yep, I am doing well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are in here. That's not great. Column 3 is limited. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. Holy cow. There's 3. Right. I possibly would not have seen that if it wasn't for the pencil marks. Like, I am absolutely wasted. So that 7 takes 7 out of there. And this is now a pair. 1 and 4, which doesn't seem to be resolved. I'll bet you this was tested with the pencil mark checker. I have no evidence of that to the contrary. Either way, I do not know. So 2 and 6 see this. Can this... So this needs to have an even digit. So it's either 4 or 8. If it's 8, it's there, and this would be 7. Wait, what? This can't be 7 or 9. I can't put 9 on this at all, and I can't put 7 on this at all. So this can't have an 8 on it. So this does have a 4 on it. So this is 3, 4, 5, and there's no 3 there. There must be a 4 on this, which means this is the 1, this is the 4. It means this is the 2, this is the 1. The 2 looks up making this 7, taking 7 out of both of those. Nifty. Put 7 in one of those two. How did that resolve? Oh, I just put the 2 there, and the 7 looks back down, making this 1. I get a triple here, but this 2 looks over, making this 6. Now, this is a triple. 4, 5, and 7, and this 7 is taking 7 out of there. Okay. Now, this is 2 or 5, because I'm missing 2, 5, 9 in this column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 2, 5, 9, and there's a 9 there. So this is 2 or 5. Now, there's a 4 in here. So I've got to put 8 and 9 in these. Yeah, not... So 9 is in one of these two, is what I'm getting from that. This is a quad. 1, 5, 8, and 9. 1 is in one of those two. Okay, these dots. Well, this is a triple. That's going to do a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 7, and 8. That's got to put pressure on these. Because if this is 4, this can't be 5, so it's 3. It can't be 6 if it's 7. So if it's 7, it's 8. And if it's 8, it can't be 7, it's 9. So this is only 3, 8, or 9. If this is 4, this can't be 5. So this is 3. If this is 7, it can't be 6, so it's 8. And if it's 8, it can't be 7, so it's 9. So this is 3, 8, 9 as well. So 6 can't go in any of those. 6 is in one of those two. Can that be a 6? That's a 6. This is pointing at 6, and these need to sum to more than 11. One of those is probably an 8, but it's not forced. It's not forced at all. These are what? 2, 8, and 9? 2, 8, and 9? Do I really need to go through and figure it? Because I've got lots of odd even possibilities here. Three and 4 have to go down here. But I could hide. So the 3 is in one of these two. So it's either 3, 4 or 3, 4, 5. I'm not seeing it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. One of those has to be 4 because of the row. Whichever one of those is 4 can only go with the 3 here. There must be a 3 here. This is not the 3. This is the 3. This is the 4. There's no 4 here. Man, this is tricky. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. Okay, well, there's no 9 there. That would have possibly been. I may have seen that 5, but I make no promises. So this is getting way more limited now. This is down to a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So, yep, there's a 5, 6 not there. There's a 4 not there. And there's a 5 not. Nope. Don't take the 6 out as well. Okay. So 7 is pointing at that. 4 and 8 is pointing at that or that. So that's only, no, 4 or itself. So if it's contributing 2, these need to sum to at least 15. 16. Because it has to be greater than 17. But it could do that. Because 4 here, yeah, this could be 8 and 8. That would be fine. Because I could go 7, 7, 8, 4, 8 would be fine. Hang on, no. Although 6, ooh. Although if this is 8, it's pointing to itself. Actually, hang on a minute. We've got a problem here. I will admit that if this was one of mine, I would have put more into this. I learnt from Psycho Alien not to make people hate the constraint. Um, because this has been running over an hour. Oh crap! Can I afford to finish this puzzle? We'll see. Oh crap! We'll see how I go. Sorry, I'm just reading more messages from my parents. Okay. So, what was I looking at? If this is a 4, this becomes a 2, and these need to sum to 16 or more, which would mean this would have to be an 8. So we'd have 4, 8 here. So this would be a 6, which means it would only be contributing 4, and that's not enough. This can't be a 4, because this would become 4. We would have, this would be 2. So these would be, 4, 2, 7. If this was a 6, then this would be 2 and 6. This would have to sum to, this would be 8. This would have to point to a 9. 4, 2, 7, 6. I mean, these are 8. This would have to sum, no, greater than 17. So this would have to point to a 10, and that's not going to work. And this is an 8. I've got 4, 8. This points to a 6, which means I've got 2, 4, which means 16, and this is not going to get there. This can't be a 4. This is an 8. So these are not 8. These are not 8. This is a 3, 9 pair, which means this is a 5. This is a 2. Stuff is starting to happen now. This is a 9. The pencil marks are probably now just distracting me, but we'll take them. This is not an 8 because I don't know. I mean, it's I deliberately said it so that these were cosmetic dots, not Kropki dots, and I still think the solver is recognizing it. So this can't be an 8 because, no, hang on, no, I don't know what, oh, that 8. I am very tired and I just got some terrible news. So that's my problem. I'm sorry, everyone. 5 takes 5 out of both of those, which means this is the 8. This is a 3, 9 pair, which means this is a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no 4 in any of those, so this becomes the 4. This also sees a 6, so this is the 1, this is the 6. There is no 6 here. This is the 6. This is the 5, 7, and 4. Now these are resolvable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which goes there. This is the 7. There is no 4 there because of that 4, which means this is the 4, so this is the 3, this is the 9, this is the 8. This is a 2 by the other stuff that's eliminated, 7 and 9. I know I'm not explaining what I'm doing, but I think it's visible to people fairly clearly. I'm just using row and column logic, and I need to get this done so I can respond to a message I've got. This is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 and 8, I believe, and I'm not seeing how to resolve that yet. But this column 1, this is a 2, which is going to make that 8 and 2, which the 8's going to jump back, making that 1 and 8. And then I need to put a 1, 2, and a 3, and that completes the puzzle. That was actually way harder than I expected it to be. Yeah, the feedback I got was this was easier than my first Psycho Killer puzzles. And my first Psycho Killer puzzles did not require chains like that. The 1, 9 here, and then, I mean, this one maybe was okay. I just was not in a good emotional state. This one, though, that was tricky. That required a lot of Some of my harder Psycho Killer puzzles, I think, have used steps almost like that, but that one was tricky. But the break in on this was very cool. Those bouncing off each other and then into this, that was really, really cool. That's a really nice deduction. I have no idea what I. Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely a 4-star puzzle. I agree with that. Very cool though, and I cannot say how happy I am that other people are sitting with Psycho Killer. Don't get me wrong, I am not putting anything down from that perspective. I'm very happy that other people are playing with the constraint, and I do hope to see more of it. Please don't take this as a negative in that regard. I'm just struggling with difficulty at the moment. I'm really looking for easy puzzles, and when people say, "Yeah, you'll be fine with this one," and then I spend over an hour on it, yeah, don't got hours right now. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you're enjoying whatever content I'm getting out. And as always, I hope your life is going well and good luck with your solving.